This video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Hey folks, how's it going? Today I am talking about My Little Pony, a new generation. My God, do I have some experience when it comes to the story of My Little Pony. For those who are the legacy viewers of my channel, the ones who've been here for like the past decade, you know about my origins. You know that I come from the world of MLP. I feel like so many viewers right now are like, say what? Say psych right now. No, not the furry stuff and not the Brody stuff. Listen, all right, calm down. When you strip away G4, My Little Pony, the brony stuff in general, at the core of it all, for both the fandom and the show, there's some pretty cool aspects to it and accomplishments, and I will defend it. And I hope my reputation as some internet weirdo can at least back up MLP G4 and how it was a good show, and it did some pretty cool things. Take, for example, My Little Pony as a franchise. G1, G2, kind of, G3, it's all pink and like teacups and frilliness and stupidity, and you can't deny that. And you cannot deny that in G4, when you got Lauren Faust, she was the one who was the show creator who reinvented MLP. By the way, she also worked on like The Iron Giant, and she worked on Powerpuff Girls and a bunch of other things. She took this franchise that was just regulated to just pink stupidity for girls and reinvented it and gave it a new like stance as a IP. And I think that's worth acknowledging and respecting. Because moving forward now with G5, it's like we're not going back to the stupidity of G3. We're not going to relapse into being teacups and tea parties and dumbness all over again. I think the franchise can be better than that. And I'll be real, it has. G4 ran for like 8-9 seasons. It had a film, it had some spin-offs. It did quite well. Hasbro's like, wow, we're really making money. Let's keep it going. And G5 got its own film to launch that generation, which is the film I'm talking about in this video. And I promise I'll talk about it here in a moment. And not only does it have a film to springboard it, but it was released on Netflix, which is like a pretty big deal. That's a real good way to take a step forward into the future with your property and say, we are meaning it this time. We are gonna start off strong. We got some really big voice actors, and also, like, look at it. It's 3D animated. That's new, which I had some reservations about that. When I saw the 3D at first, like a year ago when it was announced, I was like, oh, 3D, huh? Can they afford this? Because 3D animation for like television shows and series, or even like quote unquote TV movies, it still looks a bit lacking. It's not to say it's bad, but you can detect in 3D budget restrictions more than 2D. But I'll be damned, the 3D film looked great. Like, that's the first thing I'll go ahead and lay to rest. Watching the film for G5, I was thoroughly impressed with how visually competent and amazing it was. Minute details. I remember like one of the ponies was like on some rollerblades, and I'm like, look at those rollerblade wheels. That looks great. Look at the textures, look at the lighting, look at the eyes, look at the detail and the fluidity, and just so good. It's really good. 3D animation's come a very long way, and if you are a fan of animation, and if you don't like ponies, put that to the side and at least acknowledge that this film visually looks really good. Like, it's amazing. Like, compare this to like Toy Story 1, and I'm not having a dunk on Pixar or DreamWorks, but like 3D animation that was considered like the top of the line, top of the industry in the early 2000s, like is blown away by like companies making My Little Pony films nowadays, at least on a technical level. And that's a testament to the medium and how far it's gone and continues to grow. But pulling back to like my experience with the previous generation, like you've got a decade of nostalgia that was built up for me and many others with like Twilight Sparkle and the main six in this universe that was established, and to see it go and to see it potentially be replaced, it like, oh no, will they do it justice? Can they continue on this line of success so far? And as far as from a storytelling point of view, My Little Pony, A New Generation, was able to acknowledge the success of G4, of the previous iteration, and say, let's roll with that. but let's also get a bit different here and there. Let's keep running with the momentum, but be able to improve on it or add our own unique flair where we can. And with the characters, they were able to establish that and achieve that. I like Izzy. I think she's fun. She's voiced by Kimiko. Wow, Kimiko Glenn, I think is her last name. It's funny because Kimiko here voiced Horse in Centaur World, and she voices Izzy the Unicorn here in MLP. She's had a pretty big year as far as like voicing equine creatures go on Netflix. But like all the characters, Sunny, Pip, Zip, Sprout, Hitch, they were fun. I enjoyed them. Ultimately, after like watching the film for 15 minutes or so, my worries were laid to rest. These characters were fun. They hold up the momentum of G4, and I was curious enough to follow the story and say like, what happened? Because like G5 here is building off of G4 directly, where it's like the main six, they were the heroes of Equestria and unicorns and Pegasi and Earth ponies. We all used to be friends. That's like the synopsis, by the way. The synopsis is all those three different types of ponies who were all friends are now split off, and there's a bit of a mystery of like what happened, and racism being the ultimate enemy, as always, and how the Earth pony Sunny is like, I believe in the old stories. I want to unite with the unicorns and the Pegasi, and we shouldn't be afraid of each other. And that's the story for this film, is discovering like all these preconceived notions of like the unicorns will zap your brain. The Pegasi will lift you out of the ground and fly off with you. It's like, no, we're all kind of like pitifully ill-equipped at this point, and we don't really talk to each other, and all of our fears and what we assume of each other with our stigmas aren't true. As a matter of fact, unicorns don't have magic. Pegasi can't fly. Wow, Earth ponies actually have a good place to be because they've got technology and everybody else sucks. But it's a too bit of a deep cut for G4 references. Wow, Earth ponies are actually good for once. Yeah, I went there. But we see these main characters unite, being like, oh, I'm hanging out with Izzy, the unicorn. We're gonna go find the Pegasi, and then we're gonna hook up with Zip and Pip, and we're gonna try to discover where the magic went. That's the story. And I'll be real, like my only big complaint is I was expecting a bit more of a grand story in its scope, but it felt a bit more contained. And that's not a bad thing. I was just expecting more of like expecting just more substance, a larger level of a setting, of a story, of people involved. It felt a lot more contained compared to like G4 and its grandeur as far as its premieres and season finales go. But that's a small gripe. So, by the way, also the music in this was really good. Like, again, if you don't like My Little Pony, that's fine. But like the music from G4 was very well done and very catchy, and that was worth acknowledging. And for G5, I was hoping that they'd be able to carry on that legacy. And they have. Music was good. The songs were great. Wonderful voice acting. Just across the board, I was very pleased with the team, the writers, the directors, the animators, just everyone involved who were able to run with the momentum from G4 into this film. My only concern at this point is like, what are you going to do for a series? Because the series comes out next year. Is it going to be 3D animated as well? Can you afford that? Or are you gonna fall back to 2D again? Which, I'll be real, I'm more comfortable with that because I know that 2D is cheaper, at least as far as, not cheaper. 2D can also be just as expensive as 3D, but 2D as a series, as I said earlier in the video, you can mask your budget a bit better compared to 3D. Like 3D animated shows like The Rugrats or Camp Coral, not saying they look visually bad, but you can still say cinematically this is a drop of quality. And for 2D, I think we're more conditioned to be like, it doesn't have to be cinematic levels, it's fine. But for 3D, I think audiences are a lot more critical about that drop in quality because of the budget. And it's not the artist's fault. It's not to say that they're doing a bad job. It's just 3D technology hasn't gotten there yet. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But overall, I like this film. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it's cool to see the My Little Pony franchise continue on and not relapse back into the brainless era that was G3 with, again, like cupcakes and like, I got tea party, we're friends. That garbage. We're done with that. And I'm so glad that G5 has also declared that and they want to actually have fun with this property and deliver on quality. So I get it. Not everyone's going to love My Little Pony. I know that some folks have their reasons of why they're like, nope, not for me. Hate it. But like, if you can pull yourself away from like the fact that it's ponies and any kind of reservations you might have about the fans of it, look at the movie for what it is from an artistic point of view. And there is some real competent, quality artists and writers and voice actors who put their effort into this film and did a great job. So overall, I recommend it. I am very curious to see what they're going to do for the series. That's my last big hangup. I'm concerned that they won't be able to stick the landing, but so far they've earned my trust, my faith. We'll see what happens next. So those are my thoughts about the MLP, My Generation, the Next Generation Star Trek. I really butchered that. Those are my thoughts about My Little Pony, The Next Generation. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Ah, the internet. A place with cool potential like playing video games with your friends, streaming movies, and other stuff. But dear God, are there some awful people out there? Terrible human beings who would like nothing more than to hack into your computer and steal all of your information.
Especially when you're on an unencrypted network.
They're like, what's that smell? Data behind this door? Ooh, it's not locked. Going to take it. But you know what you can do to stop this bullcrap? Well, you can protect yourself with ExpressVPN. Yeah, that's right, DDoS. You can't take down my gaming. I'm not going offline. I got ExpressVPN. I got the goods, and I am going to invade Normandy. In the game, not in real life. Not yet. With a single press of a button, your online connection is encrypted and secured. Welcome to the wonderful world of private access to the internet. I honestly don't know how people can go online without a VPN service. Why would you give these online jerks a chance to steal your data? Don't give them the satisfaction. Full stop that BS right now with ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN was rated the #1 VPN service by TechRadar, CNET, and The Verge. And for good reason too. It offers protection, encryption, and guess what? Access to region-locked movies and shows. That's right, all of Netflix is now up for grabs. Before it was like going to a buffet and the chef smacks your hand. I mean, do buffets have chefs? I don't know. They're like, no, you can't have this pizza bar. Only they can on the other side of the restaurant, but you can't. It's like, no, I want the pizza. Give me access to the pizza. ExpressVPN's like, yo, you want pizza? You're getting pizza. I legit use ExpressVPN all the time to watch region-locked stuff. It's one of my favorite features. And guess what I've been watching as of late? Thank you, UK Netflix. I'm gonna watch my Rick and Morty with my Szechuan sauce because that was a meme from back in the day. A simpler time. On top of that, ExpressVPN works on multiple devices. Windows, Android, iOS, and many others. And all of this goodness is available for only $7 a month. That is an absolute deal for this amount of protection and freedom. So go hit up the link in the description down below and go to expressvpn.com/Saberspark to take back your internet privacy today and find out how you can get 3 months for free.